Hi everyone, my name is Terry Westwell and today's Tuesday, which means it's time to discuss our book of the week, which is Wolf by Paisley Hope. First, this is a spoiler-free section, so if you haven't read this book yet, don't worry about it, it won't be spoiled for you here. There will be some spoiler-related things that I might want to discuss, but that will be later on in the video and you will get plenty of notice. If you'd like to join in on any of the discussions, send me your thoughts, comments, or even a short video clip of you discussing the book, then I'll list the next upcoming 4 books in the description below. I rated this book 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. It kind of is this Sons of Anarchy kind of darker romance feel about it, and while the concept is quite simple, I still enjoyed it and I still had a good time with it. So it's gritty, it's dramatic, it's a little bit chaotic, and it is spicy, which are kind of all the things you want in a spicy romance with a morally grey MMC. Okay, so quick summary. This book follows Brinley, whose life completely falls apart when she loses both her boyfriend and her job, and she has to return to her hometown. It's there that she reconnects with her best friend, who is involved with the Hounds of Hell motorcycle club, and it doesn't take long until she's pulled into the orbit of a Gabriel Wolf, who is the morally grey president of the club. What follows is a darker romance that's full of obsession, tension, violence, and of course a whole lot of chemistry. If I had to compare this to any other book, I would probably say that it's a darker romance with maybe like a touch of Vanessa Allen, but not as much focus on the humour. It's very much a, good girl meets morally grey, dangerous biker. It's one of those books where I feel like the vibes really carry the story. Like, is it the most complex book I've ever read? No, absolutely not. But was I entertained? Absolutely. I flew through this book because it was just really easy to read. The pacing was really fast, there's constantly stuff going on, and I think that the tension between the characters really keeps you hooked. The romance part was fairly decent. Wolf was very much a classic, morally grey, obsessive, protective character, and whether or not that works for you really just depends on your taste in romance men, and personally I really enjoyed it. The chemistry between the characters was pretty strong, and I especially liked Brinley's overall arc throughout the story. I also really appreciated how the book really leans into the darkness of the story and doesn't soften things too much, but it also remains quite a chilled out read. Like, I wouldn't say that it's as dark as anything like Haunting Adeline, but it knows where the line is and it knows exactly the kind of romance that it wants to be. Now, there is some spice in this book. Actually, there's quite a lot of it, but honestly, I think that it was written fairly well. The tension builds naturally and the story doesn't get lost in it. Besides the ending, which I did really enjoy, the atmosphere and the relationship dynamics is probably my favourite part. It has morally grey characters, it has possessive and protective love interest energy, it also has close proximity, so if you do enjoy that sort of thing, then you'll probably have a good time reading this. I wouldn't say that it reached my top tier romance or dark romance. The plot was fairly straightforward, and while I did enjoy the ride, there were moments where I kind of wanted more from the narrative. Like, it didn't ruin it for me, but if you are looking for something with more world building or layered storytelling or a complex emotional depth, then you're probably not going to get that here. So as for the question, would I recommend the book? Yes, absolutely, especially if you do enjoy a slightly darker romance that isn't too extreme, but I would probably still say to check any trigger warnings just to be safe. Like, if morally grey men, obsessive romance, and biker club chaos is your sort of thing, then you'll probably eat this up. So will I be reading any more by this author? Yes, definitely. In fact, I've already read the second book in the series, and while I didn't enjoy it quite as much as this one, it was still a decent read. So earlier on in the video, I said that you get plenty of warning for any upcoming spoilers. Now, this is that moment, so if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going and doing that first, because beyond this point, there will definitely be spoilers. One thing I really enjoyed about this book was Brinley's transformation throughout the story. She starts off a lot more sheltered and almost disconnected, and then she becomes more confident and darker and more capable of surviving this world, especially with how it peaked with the ending. I also think that the romance works because the book doesn't try and pretend like underneath it all Gabriel is this perfect person. He is still very much a morally questionable character, and the story lets him remain that way. And honestly, I think that that fits this genre a lot better. The chemistry and the tension carried so much of this story for me that even when the plot was fairly simple, I was still really invested in watching these two characters interact. So overall, Wolf is a chaotic, spicy, dramatic read. It's not trying to be a super literary fiction. It's not trying to be a deep exploration of morality. It's just trying to be an addictive, spicy, darker romance that is fun and easy to read, and I think that it does that well. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Next week we're discussing Starside by Alex Aster. So don't forget to get your thoughts and comments in by Sunday the 17th of May at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram or Discord. The following week will be Want to Know a Secret, but don't forget if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose the genre that best suits you and the best time frame to read it in. Thank you all for joining, and if you like this video please don't forget to like and subscribe, it's always appreciated. And I will see you next week. Bye. If you like romance, fantasy, or even thriller, basically anything fiction book related, then I suggest you head on over to the channel's intro video, where you can find out more information on how you can take part in this online book club. We announce books at least 4 weeks in advance, and we accept your bookish feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send in a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you can just send me a direct message.